and welcome to the Daily 10 minutes of movement every day, released daily, so that you can fill your cup, build strength, build energy, build flexibility on some of the days where we work out together, and just get fitter through consistency. That's the key thing, is like sometimes it can be so hard to build that consistency, which is needed to get results. So the only way is to start with 10 minutes a day, and that's exactly what we're doing. These are our exercises right here. We have an upper body session today, and it's an upper body pull session. Now, within these videos, within these daily 10 sessions, I'm actually releasing mini programs. For this, and the reason that I designed it, and I talk more about it in the program, is because so many of you write to me asking for help with your pull-ups. And so the exercises that I've selected here are great accessory movements for pull-ups, and we're gonna build on this over the next 4 weeks. So make sure you stick around. This is week 1 of our little mini pull-up strengthening program. And you know what? If you don't care about pull-ups, it doesn't matter, because you're still gonna build beautiful posture, bulletproof your shoulders, and tone and shape your arms. I'm excited, but before we get on with the workout, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any of these amazing free sessions that we're doing together, and so that we can just fill our cup together one day at a time. Okay, let's do this. We are on an upper body pull session today, so let me walk you through these exercises. There's one really important bit of form that I need you guys to understand. I know, I feel like I talk about this every time, every session. I'm always like, there's this one thing you really need to know, but it's true. And that's just how the human body works. And the thing that I see commonly performed, I don't want to say it's incorrect, because it's not like it's dangerous if you do this way, but one of the reasons that we train a pulling movement is because, yeah, we want to have like good development of the muscles in between our scapula, right? Scapula being our shoulder blades. So when I see people perform this exercise like this, I think, well, you're not really doing that. And actually, you're just training the shoulder to maintain that internal rotation. The thing that you think you're doing to improve your posture is actually making it worse, because you're ending up more like this. So next time you're like online, just have a watch. Like, are they really pulling from the muscle that they think that they're pulling from, or from the muscle that they're claiming to be working? So when we perform our single arm row, which is what we're starting with, I want you to think about this. What are we trying to do here? Well, we're trying to bring the scapula together. We're trying to work the muscle in between the scapula. So what we want to do is row the elbow towards the pelvis. So when you pull, I want you to think about rowing back, okay? And that is the main thing that I want to talk you through. Now, the other thing that I have to mention is that I have a series of dumbbells here, right? Because the exercises we're doing something that's like a bicep curl, so I'm going to be using something medium weight. I like to lift heavy for my single arm rows, and then we do an external rotation, like a postural exercise, and so for that, you need a very light dumbbell. Now, if you don't have a whole range of different dumbbells, I put this bag here because I just want to show you that, like, you could always fill up a bag and use a bag, a heavy bag, and then maybe a light bag that you have, fill it up with a couple of things so that it's definitely heavier. You can use a water bottle. Like, don't feel disheartened if you don't have all these dumbbells at your disposal. If you do have dumbbells, we want to start with the heavy one for our single arm rows. We've got 2 sets, 45 seconds on. Let's get into it. I know that I feel like I spoke too long, but let's just do it. Here we go. I'm going to start with my single arm row, and I'm thinking about keeping my spine straight, my whole transverse abdominis, so the corset muscle is hugging my entire belly here. I'm giving myself a hug with my ab muscles, and at the same time, I'm rowing my elbow back towards my pelvis, my hip. So we're not doing this. And sometimes I find that if the weight is too light, it's really hard to feel what you're doing. So you end up doing this. And you think, oh, but Shona says move in full range of motion. This is full range. But it's not when we're trying to actually, full range is when we get a nice big stretch here and then row back. 15 seconds of rest, which is really just enough to transit to the other side. So I'm going to turn around, I'm going to set myself up. I'm going to go nice and wide with my leg stance here, and I'm going to move that dumbbell quite far away. Reaching, rowing. Let's go. Rowing back to the pelvis, rowing back to the pelvis. And I'm thinking about as well, just what's happening with my spine. I obviously don't want to be like this. We want to keep a nice, long, flat back. Nice neutral spine here. And just try to keep those reps even on either side. I know it's a timed circuit, but just count in your mind, because sometimes we might be stronger on one side and then we start to favor that side. So I just want you to be aware of how many you did on one side versus the other. and just really watching that elbow. The temptation is gonna be to lift the weight up like this, elbow to pelvis. Beautiful. Okay, now you're gonna grab your medium-sized dumbbells or your 2 water bottles that weigh the same, that's a little bit lighter, and we're just doing a seated bicep curl. But I want you to come to sit right on the edge of your chair and maybe even sit on the corner so that the dumbbells can sink all the way down and we get a nice stretch. So notice, squeezing the shoulder blades together, I'm almost sticking my chest out here a little bit because I want to really get a nice big stretch of my biceps. This whole set, this whole circuit, mini circuit, I designed with you guys being able to work towards a pull-up in mind. That was the inspiration for me with this mini program that we're doing within our upper body pull day. And the goal here, I know not everyone cares about doing pull-ups, but it's just such a great goal for upper body development and strength, as well as ab strength too. And that's why we have our ab exercise coming in next, which is the hollow body rock. So I'm gonna come onto the floor. Key thing with the hollow body position, belly in, spine imprints on the floor, that's key. We might start here, but I want you to keep your eyes peeled at your belly, keep that belly down. Now for the rock, I'm just gonna rock like this. Now, if you're on a hard floor, you don't have a mat, maybe that's not comfortable, you can just work with the hold. Maybe you wanna make it a little bit harder. Maybe arms extend, legs straighten. Wherever you're at, just pick your point, but just don't let that spine come off and don't let the stomach blow up. I want you to keep it down. Beautiful, have a little rest. We've now got our modified L sit. So, I want you to place your hands onto something. Oh, I'm gonna grab this other dumbbell. You can use blocks, you can use books. Knees are bent. I'm going to push and just try to get my hips back like this. So we're not in an L sit like this. We're really hugging. This is working our compression, strength in our abdominals, which is really going to help develop strength in the abs that are commonly neglected, particularly the lower abs. What it's also doing is teaching me to push the scapula down. So scapular retraction and depression are so key for strength in our shoulders. And it's so commonly neglected, and it's a big part of why many of us struggle to do push-ups. It's actually because we can't keep the shoulder blades down and back. Okay, so we're ready? 2, 1, and we've got our single arm row. So think about the reps you're working on, belly draws in, I'm gonna row. This is why I like to go a little bit heavy. Normally I would do maybe, sometimes even just 7 reps, 5 reps, depending on what I'm really working on here. But in that strength range, so I would go much heavier than this. This is 10 kilos. And I would work really to failure, or very close to failure here. For now, I've got quite a few left in the tank because there's nothing worse than demonstrating for you guys and not really being able to talk you through the cues because I'm going, wah. So I want you to choose a weight if you do have a whole bunch of weights at home that is really challenging to you. And try to work close to failure so that you are starting to stimulate that muscle growth, because we want to build muscle in our back. That's gonna help improve our posture. That's gonna help improve our shape. And it's gonna get us to that pull-up that maybe some of us want. Thinking about elbow, back, elbow, back, not elbow up. Not starting a lawnmower, we're rowing back. Make sure that distance between your legs is wide. You don't need to be in a narrow stance here. Okay. Beautiful. Okay. Perfect, getting ready to rest, but also getting ready to sit on the edge of the chair for our bicep curl. Knowing that we want to be up nice and tall, shoulder blades down and back. And this is key because Being able to be strong from this stretched position is really where so many people get let down. I even see guys when they're doing their pull-ups and they really struggle to go from a dead hang position where you're just kind of like hanging off the bar, and instead they do these kind of half pull-ups. And that's because they don't have strength at this end range. I've trained athletes and we've had to reduce the weight so much because when I get them to perform a bicep curl or any weight, any exercise to be honest, where they're working from that end range, they're much weaker, and that's completely normal. But you're not going to improve those lifts or those movements unless you take it through the full range of motion. Beautiful. Okay, I'm going to move these so they're close for my L sit. Okay, whoops. Keep things neat though. Okay, hollow body hold or hollow body rock. So if you're doing the rock, you could do a dead bug rock as well and just work here. But what you don't want is to kind of hover up here and then you lose the tension on the abs. So if you're struggling, the full variation is this. This is a hollow body rock. It's a real gymnastics move. I'm not quite there yet after my C-section, but I programmed it for you guys. I'm sure I'm going to be able to do it soon once I keep up with these daily 10s. Belly draws in. Almost there. Spine down, chin in. Beautiful. We've got our L-sit modification. So we're really just trying to work on pressing. By the way, you can do this on the floor. You can just bend your knees, come onto your fingertips, and start to lift like this. This also works. But it's just a lot easier on your wrists and obviously on your hands if you perform it like this. And it also means you can just really work on that compression. Another variation is to kind of do these swing throughs. Belly draws in, really push, push.
External rotation for 2 minutes. 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Rotation.
Ready for our external rotation, final exercise in this little sequence. Grab your lightest weight and come sit back on your couch or your chair. I'm gonna pop my shoes off and I'm gonna lift. So I've got the weight in my left hand. I'm gonna put my left leg up onto the chair. My elbow is resting on the inside of my knee. And from here, I'm gonna lift my arm up. I'm gonna slowly lower down, lift up. We're just doing 10. 3. Now, the key thing here is moving through the scapula. So don't let your shoulder roll backwards and forwards. It can, obviously it's got to internally rotate here, but that's the humerus bone. Internally rotating as you come down and then extending. I think I've done 8. I don't know, 9. 10. Okay, because what we're training is the scapular muscles, right? So the rotator cuff muscles. These really help to stabilize that floating bone, essentially. So chest up, finding that internal rotation. And then that's the other thing is that you'll realize like, oh, internal rotation might be lacking a little bit in your flexibility. And so we're also finding strength at that end range of our internal rotation, which is also going to help to bulletproof those shoulders. For my jiu-jitteros, if there are any doing this program, doing this workout, this 10 minutes, this is a really important exercise for you guys to strengthen your internal rotation, protect you from those really strong Kimuras or Americanas. Well, not so much for internal rotation. I think 9, 10. I think we've done our 10. Beautiful work, guys. Well done. We just completed another session together. How are your arms feeling? I hope they're feeling good. I'm gonna see you guys again tomorrow. Daily 10 crew. We did it. We smashed it. We smashed our upper body session. I know my arms feel good, but I also feel like I'm standing up straighter. Like it just feels good when you train your back. And it's so neglected because when you're training at home and you're not training with any weights, often your upper body sessions will look like a lot of pushing. If you do a lot of yoga, it's always about pushing, but actually the body thrives with pulling exercises as well, provided you're doing them correctly. So really practice that scapular retraction and depression work. Don't sleep on that. I promise it's going going to change the way that your shoulders function, and it's gonna really help to remove that neck and shoulder tension for you. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button as well. It really helps to support this channel, get these videos out to more people who need them. And let's face it, everybody needs 10 minutes a day of healthy, functional, supportive movement that's gonna build strength and energy. Remember that I release these videos daily, so I'm gonna see you guys again tomorrow. And for those of you that are ready to take your training to the next level, don't forget to check out my website, shonavertue.com. I have a whole bunch of different programs with different goals in mind, and I know that whatever you choose is gonna change your life. And that's like a common bit of feedback that I get from all my clients is like, oh my God, Vertue Method literally changed my life. Okay, I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow. Bye.